Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And a little while ago I did a countdown of 10 gimmicks and what I thought of them, and it kind of went from, you know, what I think is the worst up to what I think is the best. And somewhere in there I had these guys. These are Pretenders, and boy are they gimmicky. Since then I've been kind of trying to get around to this guy, and he sort of got away from me. So I figured, why not do him right now, right here with you? So stick around, and we're going to look at everything to do with the vintage G1 Skullgrin in the latest GotBot True review. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and I am your host, Dennis Moult, aka GotBot. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share, check out Machinery Man, The Everything Factor, look for me everywhere, and spend some time having a look at the playlist and see what catches your attention. This is a guy who, actually, I like to appreciate him more as kind of reminiscent, at least, of one of the faces that make up Violent Jiger, who was basically the Decepticon, or going to be the Decepticon leader during the Zone series. But in reality, that's not who it is. It's Skullgrin. And this is him in his, like, beast mode, I guess. He's supposed to have a belt on. You'll notice it's not here. I got rid of the belt eons ago, because all the belt was a pain. You see, with Pretenders, we have a robot, you can hear it clanking there, inside this shell, and the shell splits in two halves. We'll see that shortly. But if you have the belt on him, you can't split the shell. So I kind of took the belt off and threw it away as a kid. There were two of these blasters. I don't know where the other one is. I did have two of them for the longest time. I'm sure that it's kicking around somewhere. And he came with this huge sword. I'm not a melee weapon guy, but to this day, and obviously they fit in his hands, to this day I feel like this sword, which is rubbery plastic, is one of the best melee weapons we ever got. That looks so cool, like a pirate sword type of thing. The blaster that he comes with, I'll take that out of his hand. It's just a, you know, it's just a blaster. It is what it is. Nice big blaster, I'll give it that. You know, I'll give it that. And here's the Pretender shell. The head doesn't do much. It goes ever slightly left and right. It's kind of like a bull skull type of thing. Though it seems like the bottom part of his mouth is kind of molded onto his chest. It's really weird. Beautiful molding. The spikes on the back are great. All kinds of textured detail over this guy on the legs and the side there, on his front chest, on his arms. In terms of articulation and paint apps, well, let's deal with paint apps first. I think the paint apps on this guy are actually really good. I like how the kind of fuchsia pink plays off of the gray, and for the robot inside, it's the same sort of color scheme. I really like it, to be honest with you. I think it's largely accurate. I'm going to give them a 9. I'm going to give his paint a 9. I think it's really good for both the shell and the robot. Articulation. Well, in this mode, like I said, the head can go a little bit left and right. The arms can go up and back. It can go 360 if you manage to move the head enough, you know, to get the horn out of the way. Otherwise, it won't go quite 360. The legs don't move, no knee, the waist doesn't move. All that is kind of understandable for the shell, because the shell serves another purpose. Now, I'll say this. There were ones that came out that the shell itself could transform. Actually, the guys at Transformers and Bear took a look at one of those a little while ago. You can certainly go and check that out. But this was kind of, what I have here was kind of just the main line, the basic Pretender. You know, it is what it is. And these guys just split and we had a little robot inside, and I'll get to that in a second, and all of that just fell over on me. Here's the front, you know, the arms are attached to it, the head is attached to it, and here is the back of his body, and of course the robot part of Skullgrin just fits in there like that, and you close him up again. So taking him out of it. I'm going to tell you now, I won't mind if we don't actually get Pretenders be an updated gimmick. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We'll take that aside. And we'll bring in this guy. This is the way he looks. Ooh. This is the way he looks inside the packaging. Oh, inside the packaging. Inside the shell. He's not quite in robot mode. He's not quite in his tank mode. But this is what we get. And we got to do a little bit of work here. Ever so slight. The feet, they flip up. And the arms, they flip out. And now we have a rather slender looking robot from inside. But he looks good, I think. You know, it's a Decepticon. I think he looks pretty great. I feel like I'm trying to recall now. I feel like the shell was sort of a, you know, like a vicious rampaging type of mentality, while this guy was more calm and methodical in the way he did things. I don't really know that for sure. I don't recall. That being said, the robot inside has a little bit of articulation, nothing at the head or waist, but the arms can go around 360. Actually, the joints are still really tight on mine. You know, because of transformation, they can sort of bend back this way. If you think that's useful. No elbows. The hands can kind of go out a little bit. If you want to call that an elbow, I suppose. I don't think I would, but I guess you could. That being said, what I always thought was cool was that his hands can turn into, you know, guns in this mode. I think that's pretty cool. Although this hand's a little bit loose now. After 30 some odd years. The legs cannot go out to the side. There's no splits ability at all. But they do go all the way forward. And they do go all the way back. Why this guy never had a knee, I don't know. I think that could have been done easy enough. Overall, the, you know, posability, playability, considering the limitations of the outer shell and considering the lack of knees on this guy, it is what it is. I would say overall, we're looking at about a 6 for the time. It was pretty good, maybe even a 7 for the time. So we have a 9, we have a 7. This guy's scoring an 8. Let's go into the transformation. And the transformation, of course, is pretty simple. We put the feet down. We take the arms and... actually, we don't bend the arms back yet. We put the feet around. So you're taking both of his legs and kind of putting them up around his face. We bend back one arm and bring out a cannon. We bend back the other arm and we bring out its cannon. And boom, you have a purple or pinkish, fuchsia-ish, purplish, gray Decepticon tank, and I think that this works good. It would have been nice if the treads were colored black. I mean, they could have had a few more paint apps, which is also part of the reason why he gets a 9. But overall, I like it. I dig it. Fun, easy, quick, but effective transformation. 10. Even though the shell does really nothing, to me that's not the star here. This is. As far as the gun that comes with them, you can put it there on the side, and if you had the second one, you could put it on the other side. You know, kind of like this. And if you are curious, can this guy hold them in robot mode? Well, let's just go back to robot mode for a second. And see that. You can see how quick and easy that is. there's a little peg, there's a peg here, but then there's another peg here. One of these, I think, maybe not, maybe neither of those pegs. Maybe this blaster can only be held by the big outer shell. I don't think it can by this guy in robot mode. But it doesn't matter because his whole hand turns into this. Love him. Overall score for this guy, honestly, I'd say it's 9. I'd say it's a 9. That being said, I really didn't need the Pretender shell. All I really needed was that cool bullhead put on this guy. Oh wait, we did get a Skullgrin with this head that turned into a tank in the Generations line. Guess he got an effective update after all. So, that being said, I always enjoyed having this guy as part of my Decepticon ranks, and when they were split apart like this, I always liked to pretend that they were actually 2 separate characters, and maybe they were. I really can't recall from the Japanese series, though I have seen it, if they were of one mind or not, or if there was just like a morphing sort of feature. I really don't remember, but just to kind of fill out my ranks, either way, as a little kid, because I really didn't have a frame of reference then, I used to love to pretend that they were actually kind of 2 parts of a whole. Anyway, while I'm not a huge Pretenders fan, I am a huge Skullgrin fan, and that makes this guy awesome for me. Thanks for dropping by, thanks for giving me some of your valuable time, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit, right here inside the videos.